Hi, this is Zak Mir with the Bulletin Board Heroes here at Zaks Traders Cafe for Monday, the 21st of October. Starting off with the FTSE 100, which has failed 3 days in a row at 8,400, which rather makes it look as though the trendline break there from May around current levels, basically 8,350, may be a bull trap. Support initially there at the 50-day line rising at 82.85. If we do break higher, then probably it's better now to wait for an end-of-day close above 8,400 just in case it is a bull trap. Top of the channel there, 8,700, which obviously seems rather a long way away, given that we're in the run-up to the Halloween budget. Worst case is we have to test the floor of that channel there at 82.15, but with the RSI still in the mid-50s, hoping that we're just testing that resistance line as new support, and we won't have to trade much lower than 83.50. Moving on to the DAX, and here the DAX having a bit of a pause, basically trying to find new support at old resistance, 19,500. If we can do that successfully, still looking at the top of the rising trend channel there at 20,400. A bit of the Trump hysteria maybe fizzling out at the moment. A bit of bearish divergence there as well, so a higher high in the last 3 sessions, but lower RSI tracer. That means that we might have to test down towards the 19,000 area and the 50-day line there at 18,800. Before a fresh leg to the upside, but ideally we get away with testing current levels and then moving higher. Onto the Dow, which I looked at yesterday, but I'm refreshing today. Here we had a great end to the week, just within spitting distance of the top of that channel there, 43,600, but not revising that any higher, given that it may be tempting fate to do so. In terms of support, great support there from last week. 43,600, and hoping that we'll be able to 42,600 rather, than hoping that we'll be able to hold that area ahead of a move to the top of the channel. Moving on to Bitcoin, which is also dithering at the start of the week. Here, everyone getting excited on social media that we're going to break higher through 68,000. Everyone's seen that line and head up to 75,000, the June resistance line projection. In terms of support, it's around 66,500, the September peak and recent support, and hoping that even if we dither a bit, we will be able to find support above that. The other point to note at the moment is the way that we're hoping for the 200-day moving average, the black line there, to start rising so that we're heading into a golden cross, which could really speed up the upside here. Worst case is the test of the 200-day line there at 63,000 if we do break down, and it's another top of range failure. On to gold, where people are rightly getting excited about the prospects for this market. Here we've got a situation where there is an accelerating progression within that rising trend channel from June, the steeper one that we drew just a week or so ago. 2,800 at the top of the channel there, looking for that. Well, we were looking for that by the end of next month. We might get that by the end of this month, the way things are going. And certainly looking for that while we remain above 2,700, which was basically last month's resistance area. Worst case is we've got to test the floor of the channel there around 2680. Moving on to the stocks, and starting off with Aura, which I don't think anybody looks at all, but trying to fly the flag here. We had multiple gaps, bear trap gap reversal in, basically last month. A sideways shuffle breakout that we had last week, and looking for the shares to hit 11 pence by the end of next month, especially while they remain above the initial October resistance at 8 pence on a mid-close basis. RSI rebound off neutral 50, which was the hint that we're going to head higher on Aura. On to Castillo, and here new asset there, another gap to the upside, which is always very encouraging. We're waiting for the 200-day line to curl up there, but whatever happens, still looking for the shares to hit 0.48 pence by the end of next month, while they remain above the first gap there around 0.3 pence. Ideally, they stay above the overnight gap of 0.32 ahead of a move to 0.48. Cizzle is next with nice noises in terms of North American expansion. Bear trap gap reversal starting off the rally, another gap higher today, and hopefully the shares this time can finally break the rather pesky 2.35 pence resistance there. If they can do that in the next few days, then we're looking at basically up to 3 pence by the end of next month, but it would be a significant turnaround after the basically rather irritating extended bear run the shares have been in since the beginning of last year. suspicions that the market might start appreciating Eurasia Mining rather a bit more than it has at the moment look as though they've come true. We've broken that previous resistance there at 2.5 and now looking for 3.5 pence by the end of next month. Obviously there's a webinar coming up later this week. RSI rebound off neutral 50 and a sideways shuffle above a now rising 50-day line. So plus points there on a technical basis. Full marks for those who bought the shares of Energypathways on Friday because they managed to greet a 26% rise. We were looking for the shares to hit the upper parallel of that that broadening triangle that we had there at 4.6 pence, and we become within spitting distance of that. We can stay above the old peak, early October peak, 3.9 pence, looking for 4.6 to happen quite directly, and then we can start projecting the shares higher. We've got some optimists calling the shares up to 10p last week, or just in the recent weeks. Probably the initial target here would be the line I've just drawn there, that resistance line projection from back in December, heading for 6.5 pence by the end of next month, the longer we stay above the 4 pence level. And obviously that unfilled gap to the upside through resistance, a very strong signal. I have been complaining that gold stocks have not been following the gold price, but it looks as though they're finally, the buyers are finally coming in. Golden prospect near the top of that rising trend channel that we've been looking for at 46 pence, and hopefully we'll get there in the next few days. Best case is up to as high as 57 pence by the end of next month, while we remain on the right side of September resistance at 40 pence. Moving along to another winner today, and it's HeLIX Exploration. Here, good news in terms of companies drilling, etc., etc. Gap to the upside, and we've got the top of the channel there at 28 pence, which we're looking for, or have been looking for by the end of next month, and that's valid while we remain above the now rising 50-day moving average at 20 pence, which should not be too arduous given the lay of the land. Moving on to Insig Ai, and here breaking through the 200-day moving average. We've been looking for 20 pence for quite some time, and hopefully we can get that even as soon as the end of this month. Obviously that's the main resistance for the shares, and we're looking for that while we remain above the 200-day line at 15.5 pence. Decent contract win for Light Science Technologies. I interviewed the company as well. Shares bouncing off the floor of that rising trend channel that's been in place since November last year, rising 50 and 200-day moving averages as well, which suggests we're going into a golden cross. And as I say hundreds of times, the run up to a golden cross tends to be the strongest part of the cycle. So looking for 3.5 pence plus by the end of next month, while we remain above the floor of the channel there at 2.6 pence. And nice to see the RSIs pushed above neutral 50 for the first time since early last month. Mosman Mania is back, as we've seen, and here we've broken that resistance line there after the gap fill buy signal around 0.42, above the resistance line at 0.048 rather, not 0.42 I should have said, above 0.048, looking for the basically the highs of the year up towards 0.08 plus. Hopefully as soon as the end of next month, looking for the type of move that we had in June to be repeated in October. Moving along to Mkango, and here rising trend channel base, pushing through the 200-day, or the 50-day moving average rather, for the third time in the recent past. Hopefully it'll be third time lucky, and while we're above 5.5 pence, looking for 8 pence by the end of next month, and changing that trend that there's been on the daily chart for the best part of a year. One of my pet favorites is Ovoca Bio, and here, as you can see, these shares, the suspicion was that we'd hit the floor of that channel there around the 1 penny area, and that proved to be correct. Looking for 2.2 pence by the end of next month, or even sooner, at the top of that rising trend channel from October last year. Ideally, we stay on the right side of 1.5 pence in the meantime. Moving on to the last three. First one is Serabi Gold, obviously enjoying the lay of the land in terms of the gold price at the moment. We're looking for £1.10 by the end of next month, while we remain above recent resistance at 82 pence. We've seen the shares gap up today, so hopefully we can get to £1.10 relatively quickly while we're above the low 80s. Sunda is next, otherwise known as Barron Oil, and here another go at heading to the top of the range of towards 0.12. We're looking for that by the end of next month while we're above 0.08. and enjoying the two rebounds for the RSI above neutral 50, which tends to be and has been a leading indicator on the upside. And 50 and 200-day moving averages crossed last week as well, which should help the cause. Finishing off with a stock where I identified a converging triangle yesterday, I think it was. We just need to have an end-of-day close above £1.48 to give us the new leg up, and that would be towards as high as £2.60 by the end of next month. I appreciate this is a very illiquid situation and probably has a spread wider than the Atlantic, but above 148 mid-price, looking for 260 on Uru Metals or Uru Metals. That's it for me today. More updates tomorrow.